I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, this is such a special episode for me because I'm showing you how to make my grandmother's chicken soup. It's like the number one comfort food for me of all time. It's very simple to make. As much as I love this soup the way I make it, which is pretty much the same way she makes it, I always feel like hers comes out better. That's probably because she makes it. The ingredients for it are super simple, so I want to take you over them before we get started. You're going to need some skin-on, bone-in chicken legs, very important, dark meat chicken, an array of mixed vegetables, which are carrots, onions, celery, butternut squash, potatoes, some tomato puree, and a chicken bouillon cube. And you're also going to need, I'll show you a little bit later on, some small cut pasta, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. And if you want, some parmesan reggiano, which I know I'm going to eat on top of this. So, okay, this recipe is the recipe for me when I go over there. In fact, I went to Italy a couple years ago in the summer. It was July. It was so unbearably hot. But the day I went to my grandmom's house, the first day I was there, she asked me what I wanted to eat. And I asked her I wanted her brodo. And my uncles were so mad because it was hot. They're like, why do we have to eat soup in July? And my grandma was like, listen, she's here, she's eating her soup, and that's the end of it. And I ate soup in July, I think like the entire time I was there, because that's like my thing that I always ask her to make whenever I see her. Okay, so I have all my chopping done. Let's go to the stove and start cooking. I have a large soup pot preheating over medium-high heat with about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And I just salt and peppered one side of my chicken. And then I'm going to just put them seasoned side down. I want to make sure it's nice and hot. And this is just going to cook for 3 to 4 minutes on each side, or until they develop a nice golden brown color on the outside. I took my chicken out after I've been cooking it for a few minutes on each side just to develop a little golden color. And now I'm going to add in here all my veggies. And I'm going to season them with a little salt just to draw out the moisture. And I'm going to let these cook for about 5 to 7 minutes or until they start to cook down. My veggies are starting to cook down. So now I'm going to add my chicken back in. Get it nice like that. And then I'm going to cover it with water. Whoa. A little bit more. You're going to need about, I would say, 6.5 to 7 cups of water total. I'm going to add in some of the tomato puree, or you can use leftover marinara sauce or even fresh tomatoes if you wanted. Just some kind of tomato product in there. Okie doke. Our bouillon cube. And now I'm going to let this come up to a boil, and then I'm going to lower the heat to medium low, and I'm going to let this simmer and cook for about 2 hours. After a couple of hours, I've just taken out the chicken, and now I'm getting rid of the skin and just shredding the meat with my fingers. You can also use 2 forks if you want to, but I've just let it cool down for about 10 minutes so it's cool enough for me to handle with my fingers. Just go ahead and shred all the meat, and then I will go back to the stove to finish it off. Now my vegetable base is all nice and cooked. My shredded chicken's right here to the side. Now this is completely optional, but this is the way I know how to eat this because it's the way I've eaten it my whole life. I'm going to just puree the vegetable base. But you can definitely leave it chunky if you want to. I like to puree most of it and leave some chunks. To my pureed vegetables, I'm going to add a bit of water just to thin it out a touch. Give this a stir. Put in the heat back up to medium-high, a little bit more water, and I'm going to let this come up to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to put in my pasta and my chicken, and I'm going to let it cook until the pasta is fully cooked through. After it came up to a boil, I added my pasta and my shredded chicken, and I let it cook for about 10 minutes, and now it's perfect. It's nice and thick. It's just like I remember eating it as a kid. Oh. Look at that. Now, of course, pureeing the vegetable is a total optional thing, but for me, it's a must. Now, I should put some parmesan reggiano over the top, but I just can't even be bothered to do that right now. I just really want to give this a taste. Almost brings me to tears. It truly does. I don't know why. I wish she was here, but there's always next year, right? This is just like the food that comforts me more than anything else in the world, is this soup. No matter what. If it's hot, if it's cold, if I'm upset, if I have an upset stomach, this is the thing I go to just to feel that little bit closer to home. That's it. It's simple and easy. You've seen how I made it. You can go to your kitchen and make my Nonna Laura's brodo di pollo, and I'm sure you'll feel just as comforting as I do. See ya.